What is up, everybody? Welcome back to another trading recap video. This wraps up Monday. It was a pretty beautiful Monday. End of the day, plus $99.00, just a dollar short of the big 100. On stock INM. This was I think it was the leading gapper this morning. Maybe not the biggest gap, but it was one that I was the most interested in coming into the open. It was about 35%, I want to say, on news. And yeah, so quickly we had INM, VTYX, and I mean, this is the watch list here from today from the gap scanner. Only a few things held up. One of them being NRBO. This one was up 120% today. I know a lot of traders were interested in this one, but for me, it's a little bit too cheap. And that's why I didn't end up taking any trades on it. But it gave some pretty nice moves, including this one right here. It went going from 52 cents to 75 cents. So this one gave some really nice action, but I wasn't really interested in it. It's sub-dollar, not my style. So the burnt of my trades were on INM. Now today all things considered, I didn't take too many trades. I was pretty conservative, because the leading gapper, or at least the leading gapper that I was interested in trading, being INM, the float on it was like, when I looked it up, I think it said it was 0.7 million. So I mean, 700,000 share float. So this thing was choppy. I mean, yes, high reward, but you could have it was some pretty high risk too. We ended up having some pretty nasty flushes, and there was a lot of times on breakouts and stuff and big dips where we're getting, 20, 30 cent chops and whips like this. So it was tricky. So I was playing it a little bit on the safe side. The one trade that I missed here coming into the open was with this red to green. Now, when this broke over, this is something that I was actually going to pull over from the stream. One trade that I missed on it here. So one thing I want to be more cognizant of is when a stock that I'm interested in being the leading gapper, or one of the leading gappers that I am the most interested in, if it starts to sell off straight away out the open, I want to give it more than just a few minutes, because sometimes I tend to discount a stock if it, it puts out 5 red candles out the open. I'm like, well, it's just going to end up fading. So I start looking for other stuff, and I get a little bit, I lose sight of that stock. But in this case, if I was really looking at it, we ended up having a really nice gap and go out of the open. I mean, it wasn't really nice. It was a gap, and it opened. It held here at 15, and it gave about 50 cents, which was decent. But then it reversed. I mean, like $1, more than $1 a share. And then there was these 4 candles here that were selling off, and I can imagine that shorts were probably piling into this thing because it was gapped up nicely, and we started selling off of this false breakout from the open. And so looking at the price action, when this thing broke over, first candle make a new high, it was a little bit tricky. But this breakout is what I want to pay attention to. So when it popped over 15, held 15 really strong there, and then it breaks over, it goes from, let's see, the high of this candle was 1548. And when it breaks out, it is like, boom, now 1623. So that's an 80-cent breakout in a matter of seconds. And I totally left that one on the sidelines. But as you can see here, once it breaks out, we get some pretty bad chop there. I mean, like, you can lose 20 cents on what you would think is a break-even trade very easily because of the chops. And we had a bit of spreads on that breakout too. So, and not the cleanest, but what it goes to show is I should have been paying more attention, because this thing was totally getting shorted. And when shorts covered at high of day, I mean, it went really fast. So even if I didn't capture the top, 20% of this candle, even if I'm selling right here from this breakout, it would be, 50 cents at least. So left a little bit on the table on that one, but that was just the one area from the stream that I want to take a look at, because some of those breakouts can be really strong. So that was the trade that I missed. First trade of the day was actually on VTYX here, and it ended up being a decent, I think it was like $40 or $50 winner. I took 100 shares on it, and believe it or not, it was basically at high of day. I didn't end up trading it through this area because it was a little bit more expensive, and I think I was focused on INM at that time. But I got it here when it pulled back. I bought in for the test of this whole dollar at 40. It ended up giving a good 50-cent pop, so I sold there, and ended up being a good sell because it came right back down and then faded basically for the rest of the day. So one and done on this stock, got green on it. And then the one trade that I got, well, let's see, first I'll cover this one. So I tried on this breakout here, when it broke out past 17, it pulled back into 17. I tried the entry, and then it ended up giving. Oh no! So yeah, this was actually my best trade on it. Believe it or not, on this candle, on this topping green wick, I probably sold basically right at the top. So I took a decent. What was it in this area? Yeah, so I took a trade in this breakout. It ended up being a small red trade. But then I got in here when it broke past up, like I said, over 17 for the retest of the whole dollar. Got in, gave about 30 cents, and I sold for a nice green trade there. And going forward, where was the other trade that I took on it? I think I missed it all through this area. The one thing that I wanted to point out here that was pretty interesting is I drew this ascending resistance here after we had this pivot off of this candle here. And when we pulled back here, it came basically right to the penny of this line and gave about 10% in this move, right to the penny of this line. But I didn't take that trade. I wasn't very convicted. I didn't have much of a thesis. It was just a line that I had drawn, and I ended up respecting it very, very nicely. So interesting to see. Also, if we draw it out, kind of looks like it tops again over here. A little bit, not quite. But anyway, that was something I wanted to point out. And we're actually kind of making a push right now in power hour here. It's at 1816. So I digress a little bit here, but anyway, that's gonna call it. I'm gonna call it a day there. I'm gonna wrap up the video. Plus $99 on the day, mainly on INM and that one trade on VTYX. So yeah, this one was, like I said, was a little bit more tricky, but there were certainly opportunities on it. And I did all right, but we'll see what tomorrow has to present itself with for opportunity. I'll be back with another live stream. Be back with another recap after that. And keep on the grind. Keep growing every day. Stay green. I'm out of here. Later.